There he is.
Yes. Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. It's going good. It's good to see you, my friend. Thank you so much for going in and out and for setting it up. And thank God we have good internet at the house.
I heard somebody talk about internet connectivity earlier in the show, so of connectivity in Africa. Yeah. But I'm so excited to be here, man. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay, man. I'm really excited too. You know, Yussouf, we've been friends for a while now. When I guess, you know, when I came down to Kigali, for those that don't know, a couple of months ago, with Empower Africa, I came to Kigali for a 5-day trip, and on day 3, it was actually during a conversation with Israel Bimpe from Zipline, who we spoke to earlier, that inspired me to just decide, okay, I'm gonna stay here and ride this out, and I needed a place to stay, right? You know, so I really wanted the best experiences that I could get, and so I made a few calls, and you know, and I was fortunate to be introduced to you, Yussouf, that put a roof over my head and food on my table for months. But as we got to know and talk, you also were gracious enough to let me work at a BAG Innovation. And in spite of all that, and in spite of just our incredible friendship and brotherhood, from literally living at the same place and working at the same place, I saw that you guys were onto something at BAG Innovation. I saw that you, Yussouf, as a young founder, have something going for you, whatever it is, and are just on a beeline of success. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to share that with the Empower Africa community. This is not a platform for every startup to come up. We want to show investors within the theme of today's session, the Rwandan Value-Add, which is the value that Rwandan companies add to international partners, which you guys are doing through raising capital, through developing technology. You guys, I believe, have raised $260,000 to date, including from partners like GIZ. You have Silicon Valley EdTech VCs on your advisory board. You, Yussouf, are a World Economic Forum global shaper. I could sit and talk about you and how great you are for the next 30 minutes, even longer, but please tell everybody here, who are you, what led you to this point, and what are you up to with BAG Innovation?
Yes, for sure. Again, thank you so much for that amazing introduction there, Caleb. Yes, that's true. We've been friends for some time now, and yeah, it's a great pleasure for me to be speaking today at this event. So yeah, as you mentioned, and as you can see, my name is Yussouf Ntwali, and I'm a young Rwandan entrepreneur based here in Kigali. And my story starts basically in 2017, fresh out of high school, and then I just got hit by the realities of youth unemployment for the first time in my life, right? I remember watching my friends, siblings just graduating from college and not being able to get jobs, right? And that got me really curious about what is the problem happening here in the market. And it was around that time that I met my co-founder, Gabriel, from Sweden, just based here in Rwanda as well. And the idea of BAG Innovation was born. And today, we're super proud to say that our company has been able to impact over 8,000 students in the country, all the way from students and graduates, connected over 600 young people to income-generating opportunities, and won a couple of awards for the work that we're doing here. And by the way, BAG Innovation is, really BAG stands for Building a Generation, all right?
Yeah.
And our mission is to really
building a generation.
Building a generation, yes.
Love it. I love it.
Yes, and really the mission there is to bridge the gap between higher learning institutions and the market, the job markets and employers. And really, we're trying to prepare students to be ready for the job market, and really trying to make sure that every single African student is able to transition smoothly from school up to the workspace, right? And we do this by offering a digital platform that tracks the development of university students from their first year in college and make sure that we're complementing the learning that they're getting from school with what the market is actually looking for. And by doing this, we provide personalized career guidance. We use gamification to be able to make sure that the platform is attractive enough for students to improve their retention as well, and make sure it's a fun journey for them to work with their career development. And we do this, we can't do this alone. So we do this with partnerships with different employers. This means businesses all over the country, really going there, having conversations with them to try to understand what are companies looking for and what are universities now producing, right? And we kind of become the middleman in making sure that we're complementing that. And we just recently got into a partnership to build our gamification with one of the creators of the famous Candy Crush mobile application. And these guys are building. So we just partnered with Insert Coin, which was started by one of the creators of Candy Crush. And
so one of the creators of Candy Crush is partnering with you to develop a game for career development.
Yes, correct.
And if I can just ask you to speak a little bit slower, because I'm trying to process just all this incredible stuff that you're saying, and I want to make sure to share this with everybody.
Yeah.
What does that mean? What does Candy Crush have to do with career development? Because if anything, for me, Candy Crush is just the term from career development.
No, that's true. That's actually
what does that
true.
have to do? How does that work? That's incredible.
Yes. So basically, one of the creators of the game basically started a company called Insert Coin in Sweden, and the Insert Coin's main offering is they're providing gamification API for different solutions and platforms all over the world. Okay. And my co-founder, being a Swedish and just having a lot of connections in Sweden, we managed to get to meet these guys, and they told us about, hey, we wanna come to East Africa, and we're really interested in education and really seeing how we can gamify education. And that's where the conversation really started, to start talking about, hey guys, like how can we apply this gamification API to our platform and make sure that we're increasing the retention. Because I remember when we first met, one of the biggest challenges with our platform was that we couldn't really manage the retention rates of the students, because obviously career development is not a really sexy word for a student, right? So how can we make sure that students are still learning without realizing that they're actually learning? And that's where it got super exciting to see how we can introduce a reward system for every single achievement that students are doing on the platform. Students receive points, and these points are able to use them to purchase something on the platform that helps them with their career. So this could be 1,000 points would help you get 1 hour of career development call with a professional here in Kigali. And we're really we're still at the very, very early stage with the gamification API. But with this partnership and the different partnerships that we're just building as we go, especially this year, we believe that we're going to be able to take it to another level. And it's really exciting. We really want to see where this is going. Gamification is really something that is becoming a really big trend in education right now. So we're excited to be part of this journey.
It sounds a little bit like you're kind of a Duolingo, but for career development, right? Where you make a game out of learning, but instead of picking up a language, whether it's Kinyarwanda or Swedish, you're turning career development into a really interactive game. But when you win, you actually can use those points to buy tools and services that help you with your career development.
Absolutely. That's the main idea, right?
And you're doing this, sorry for interrupting, you're doing this for the African market, which is, how large? What's the addressable market that you're going after here? Because it's got to be billions.
Yes, I mean we're talking about roughly $12 billion market here in Africa. Just looking at the university system, or just the university market, also the students that are enrolling in university. but also looking at the numbers from research that are predicting the population of Africa just growing very rapidly by 2050, and we really need to find ways to find employment for all these young people. Obviously, unemployment is caused by so many things. We need to create more jobs, we need to build more businesses, but also at the same time, we need to ensure that the students that are going through university are actually getting the right skills so that they can increase their chances of getting into the market. So really just looking at the numbers of the students that are graduating each year, in Rwanda, East Africa, all over Africa, with markets like Nigeria, Egypt, South Africa, we're really looking at a huge market here.
And if I may ask, because I'm sure my distinguished colleagues could attest that we all need a little bit of career development. Is there a global play here with what you're doing, or are you just focused on the African market right now?
Obviously we're focused on the African market because we're building it for the African market, but it was quite interesting because since when we started up to now, with me and my co-founder, we've been able to travel all around the world and just pitching back innovation and meeting different stakeholders and investors. And it got really interesting because we went to all the way from South America, in Ecuador, Mexico, and it got super interesting because we're pitching this idea and a lot of people were saying, hey, we're facing the same problem, like we could definitely use this, all the way from there to Europe, anywhere. And it just got super exciting for us because we're like, okay, maybe this is not just for Africa. This is this is a solution that could work somewhere else in Asia, somewhere in Europe, or somewhere in Latin America or America. So it's right now we're still focused on the African market because that's the market that we understand the most, and we're really trying to prove the concept here, starting with Rwanda, East Africa, and really moving into potentially West Africa as well. And from there, we'll be able to start tackling different continents as well. But there's definitely a global play here.
Can I break from bag innovation to ask you a personal question real quick?
Sure.
Why did you jump straight into, what motivated you to jump straight into entrepreneurship right out of high school?
That's a great question. So basically,
share honestly, man.
Yes, I've always been super inspired by just starting something on your own and watching it grow and making it successful. My dad is one of my biggest inspiration because my dad has been involved in just starting businesses, has always been a purebred entrepreneur, and just me watching him start different businesses, some businesses failing, some businesses succeeding. I think I got really, really passionate about, that thrill of, just jumping on a new adventure. And it's always been, in me to just do that. And I realized from a very young age in high school, I used to just sell products, find something and then try to buy it at a cheaper price and try to make a profit on it. And I've always had that kind of sales, in me. So getting into entrepreneurship, became very easy for me to do that. So I would say that my dad has been a big inspiration. Yeah.
That's remarkable. And he's supportive of this? How does he feel about you being a founder?
Yes, definitely. He's super excited. My dad is always saying, hey, if you can make it successful, I'm behind you. Right? If you can make it successful, I'm definitely behind you. So I just have to make it successful.
Yeah. How do you deal with the fear of failure? Because I see actually in our audience is the honorable ambassador of Israel to Rwanda, Dr. Ron Adam, whose message to young founders in Rwanda and anywhere in the world is don't be afraid to fail. So if I can just ask you as a young founder over there, how do you deal with that?
I believe it's a very tough question, right? A lot of people would say that entrepreneurship, you have to become a successful entrepreneurship, you have to not be scared of failing. But I would say that at the same time, failure is kind of scary because You always think that I've spent so much brain power just thinking about this idea. I've worked to build this idea, built a team. You've started to believe in that dream, and the idea of you failing with that business, kind of like, it pushes you because you're like, okay, I really, really have to make it because it has to be successful. But then at the same time, it pushes you, but then also it's a little bit scary as well because like you're like, it's my baby, right? It's my baby. Like I feel like I would fail. It's like failing, in school and being really not feeling great about yourself, right? It kind of hurts your self-esteem, I would say.
Well, you're far from failing now, bro. You're really winning at what you're doing. I mean, with your vision, with your partnerships, just this concept of a gamified app for career development in Africa, addressing a continental total addressable market of $10 billion, and who knows what it is globally. Let's talk to us. Take us a little bit deeper into some of the wins and milestones that you've hit so far. You mentioned 8,000 users of the game that you've developed, or 8,000 users of what? You mentioned that you've raised over $200,000, which for the crowd in attendance is not a small feat for a Rwandan startup to hit that fundraising milestone. Walk us through some of your milestones and your traction to date.
Yes. So yeah, definitely. So since we started back in, obviously there was a lot of like proof of concept. So we started with a really offline model where we, try to really look at, okay, what is the best and simplest way to solve this problem, right? So we started with a lot of upskilling in the office, training, just meeting young people and talking to them and trying to figure out how we can best solve this problem. And throughout that journey, we started with a student consulting firm, where we just gathered different challenges from companies, get students to work on these challenges, trying to identify the best talents out of this. Pivoted to a talent placement company, helping companies with this innovative way of identifying talents, helping companies match different people. And that's where we achieved over 600 people getting placed into jobs who are still, successfully in these.
Hold on, sorry. 600 people you guys have placed jobs for?
Yes.
To date, or just up to that point?
Yes, up to date, up to this point, up to today.
Wow. That's incredible. Sorry, I just had to clarify that and process that. That's not a small number. Please continue.
No, it makes sense. Placing young people into jobs, really trying to, start looking at what are some of the ways to scale the technology, got into a partnership with a local tech team to be able to build our technology and scale it in Rwanda. So we have a partnership with a Somiti Lab, great team of young entrepreneurs and software developers. And basically, so the 8,000 people, 600 young people placed into jobs, collaborated with around 200 companies here in the country. So all the way from SMEs to NGOs and different bank institutions, where we work with them to figure out a best way to assess young people's talents. We've won a couple of awards along the way. We've been working as the best education technology in Rwanda for various different organizations and different competitions that we've been doing. And over just actually a few days before Christmas, we actually won the Innovating Education in Africa by the African Union, and we're recognized as the best education technology in Africa. We're competing with different ed techs from Nigeria, South Africa, and other different African countries. So it's been really exciting, and we're looking to grow the number of users from that 8,000 to onboarding over 10,000 by this year. And by 2024, we're looking at having 300,000 young people using our platform. And it's really exciting because we're really looking at partnerships with different universities on the markets. In Rwanda, we collaborate with around 15 universities where we have presence in the universities. We connect with the students there, and those are some of the biggest milestones so far.
You're awesome. That innovation's awesome.
Thank you, man.
So what is your North Star, right? What is your, is there a point, where you say, wow, like this thing is really, 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 this thing is hit it, right? What is your sort of North Star for this thing?
I mean, yes, I think there's definitely going to be a lot of different, ways that we're going to be looking at I would say the success in general with BAG.
Because you've been very dynamic up until this point, right? You started with just like advisory, then it evolved, then it evolved, then it evolved, right? And pivots are a part of any sort of startup.
Yeah.
What's your end, North Star? What's your ultimate vision for this thing, assuming everything goes the way that you have planned?
Yes, we're looking at a fully gamified digital platform that can potentially substitute career development, the career development centers in the universities. So that's something that we're looking at. How can we basically just improve the career development of university students as they're going through university, right? And become a complement to what the market is, what the market is looking for and what the universities are producing. So we're looking at a fully gamified platform. Every single kid in Africa, every single student would have on their phone, on their laptop, that they're using on a day-to-day basis to just really, understand and so that they're able to make informed based decisions, I would say, right, about where they want to get into in careers. There's a lot of young people coming from high school and not knowing what they want to learn in university. So if we're able to provide a tool or solution that can help them start identifying what are their key strengths, what are their skills, what are they good at, and so that it can help them really, identify what are the careers that they can be better at in the future. That's what we're looking into.
So let's say this thing gets as big as it gets, as you want, right? We raise money, we grow, we develop the platform. How many jobs are we creating a year, or contributing to, retention of job? Or
so really the BAG solution is really not providing per se the jobs for the young people who are using our platform. We're more of a, as you said, a Duolingo. We're really just helping you get prepared and get an understanding of what the market is looking for. But then we also try to really partner with organizations that are actually, part of their mandate is really placing young people into jobs. So therefore, we're looking at partnerships with HR agencies. We're looking at partnerships with organizations such as Harambee, doing an amazing job just placing young people into jobs. And just being that career development tool that can help students from their first year, because that's when we target our users, is first day in college. Here's the BAG Innovation Platform. Start using it, and we're really gonna, hold your hand to really show you how you can apply what you're learning from school to how the market is changing and how the market is operating, so that by the time you graduate, you've already increased the chances of working at your favorite company, for example. And by that time, we already have partnerships in place with, another entity that will be able to take you from that last day in university to your first job, right? But we've done a great job in just increasing and making you ready for that actual job, so that by the time you get onboarded into a company, we've already reduced the amount of time and money that companies would be spending in training you and just making sure that you're fully effective at your role. So cutting that is really one of the pain points that we're trying to eradicate for companies the time to really onboard and make sure that an entry-level talent is fully effective at the job.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Tell us a little bit more about your co-founder.
Yes, my co-founder, Gabriel Eichmann. I'm pretty sure he's in the audience right now. So Gabriel, I'm not sure, I'm guessing. But yeah, so Gabriel Eichmann, Swedish entrepreneur as well. So we met in 2017, and Gabriel was here in Rwanda because Gabriel's dad started an entrepreneurship school here that works with local communities and churches to teach them about entrepreneurship and how to start businesses. It's called Focus Business School. And Gabriel came here in Rwanda as a teacher and as an expansion manager for that school. And during that time, that's when we got to meet, because we all felt the urge about solving a problem, or really just getting into the field of youth employment, youth development, and just upskilling itself. So yes, at the same time, Gabriel has been working with several different startups, helping young people start startups, helping different businesses grow their business. So really that kind of understanding of the business market is really what Gabriel has been doing.
Oh, wow. Welcome.
Gabriel, how's it going?
How's it going? Sorry, wait, I'm playing a board game. I wasn't ready to get invited.
What a treat, man. What a treat.
How's it going?
We're doing well. We're on stage sharing the Bag Innovation story with our good friends here. So Yussouf, you mentioned that Gabriel is helping out a lot of different startups. I know that you're doing it as well, right? You guys set up an incubator with help from the GIZ. I also want to give another great shout out to a member of our audience. We have George Adoho here, who was on the Africa team at the World Economic Forum, and I know that you, Yussouf, are involved with that Global Shapers program as well. So I want to give a shout out to the World Economic Forum, who's doing their great work in online. Actually, I believe the summit is taking place this week, and His Excellency President Paul Kagame spoke there yesterday. So Yussouf, talk to us a little bit about your activity with the Global Shapers, and then also Yussouf and Gabriel, tell us a little bit about how Bag Innovation at this early stage is already being tasked with the responsibility of teaching other entrepreneurs in the edtech space how to build businesses.
Great. I see Gabriel is back now. That's good. Yes. So yes, as you say, that's correct. I'm a global shaper. I'm a Kigali global shaper, and it's really a network of young people, like myself, working with several different organizations, all the way from GIZ, the government, with consulting firms like Dahlberg. And it's really just a network of us coming together every single month and discussing, looking at the challenges that our communities are facing. So we're looking at education, we're looking at finance literacy. So really introducing conversations with leaders in the government, in the business sector, and how we can solve some of these biggest challenges. So that's the work that we do at Global Shapers. It's really exciting to be part of a group of young people contributing to making the world a better place, I would say. So it's really exciting.
Yussouf, can I ask you another personal question?
Yes.
How old are you again?
I'm 20 years old.
You're awesome. You're awesome, man. And Gabriel, talk to us a little bit about the move from Sweden to Kigali, and how that sort of because the theme of this event that we're doing is the Rwanda Value-Add. So talk about the value that's been added to your life, and also to Bag Innovation by building a business in Rwanda, and just tell us a little bit about that. Gabriel, we'd love to hear it before we get to the conclusion of this, where we'll love to hear about any way that the Empower Africa community can be helpful.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I came to Rwanda 4.5 years ago now. Been an entrepreneur back home in Sweden for most of my life, and I think the difference was that it was a bit when I was working with Swedish entrepreneurs and Swedish startups, the focus was more of solving day-to-day issues, but it wasn't really impacting anyone. It was solving small things of how to make your shopping bag more effective. And coming here to Rwanda, the difference was that every solution that you're talking to has an impact focus, and every solution has a community focus. So for me, that was the huge difference with coming here to Rwanda, is that even if we're for profit, you're able to really make a huge impact with the results of the product that we have.
Yeah.
So that's definitely been the takeaway for me. Is it builds me up as much as we're building BAG up to just work with the amount of students we're working every day and all the universities. Obviously, Rwanda it's beautiful. It's much warmer than Sweden, so my happiness levels are a bit higher than normal. So yeah, no, it's definitely been a huge win for me.
Great. So we've heard about BAG innovation. We've heard about you guys. We've heard about the market. We've heard about the impact. What's next? We've heard about the vision. Where are we going? And how can we get involved?
I mean, we're trying to get this to every university in East Africa to start with. So this year we're looking at Tanzania, Ethiopia, and Uganda. Hopefully the political situation will stabilize there a bit more so we can enter, but we are aiming at targeting the public universities to start with. So the majority of universities in each country in the region. So we're looking at an exponential growth by the end of this year, going from around 50,000 users in Rwanda to around 400,000 in East Africa. So, I mean, we're desperately looking every day for partners that can help us scale. We're only in Rwanda. We're very localized, so we're looking at larger corporates, larger edtechs that see the potential of BAG and partnering with our solution. For example, we're looking for e-learning platforms. So BAG is not actually training the student to become a better accountant. We're just making them market measurements and giving them the ability to change it before they graduate. But in our feedback loop, we've started to give links to online e-learning platforms. So we can also help build the technical skills more elaborately through the platforms. We're also looking for partners who have good content on their platforms that we can partner with. Mentors, we're looking for investors, of course. We're raising at least $500,000 this year. And yeah, no, we're always looking for people that we can learn from, just like you, Caleb.
Well, I can say that, I learn so much from you guys, and, the real value add that Rwanda has for me is just so much as personal as it is professional, right? From just a place of inspiration and, insight and purpose and intention. We have a quick question from the audience here. The director of marketing from Empower Africa is asking if there are specific careers that you expect to see higher growth with as a focal point, especially in Rwanda. For example, accountancy, programming. Are there specific, as you develop these games, which sort of career paths do you feel like you guys will be the most effective in developing and in nurturing through your platform?
I can start and Yussouf can follow up. Rwanda is focusing on ICT. They're trying to become the next Silicon Valley, right? So
sure,
we're a tech startup, but it took us 4 years to build a platform that we have today due to the tough challenge that we had to find good CTOs and good software front end and back end developers. So yeah. I think the field that will skyrocket in the coming years is the software engineering field. Like we desperately need it, but because of the small country that we are, we need people who can export solutions. So on the tech side, that's definitely something that's going to skyrocket. But we don't work specifically with careers. We look specifically at skills. So what we've seen in terms of the need from the employer is always going to be the soft skills. So it doesn't really matter what background you have. You can be teaching the technical, but in Rwanda, the soft skills focus is huge right now, and it's desperately needed as well. So I think from Yussouf's side, for example, coming out of high school, just having the gift of the gab, having the critical thinking and fast learning skills are crucial in an environment like Kigali where it's developing so fast. Yussouf, what do you think?
No, I agree with you. It's 100%. The programming and IT skills and software engineering is very needed in the market, but there's a lot of great players that are doing amazing work there. But then we've seen that nobody's really focusing on the soft skills that companies actually care more about, because as Gabriel said, you can teach any technical skill. You can go on YouTube and learn something about that, but you can't really teach people to be, to have great work ethic and all the skills that make you great in your career. So that's one of the parts that we're really looking into. How can we leverage technologies to be able to fill that gap?
That's really interesting. How can you use technology to pass your guys' charm and professionalism and work ethic to thousands of people around the world? And again, if anybody from the audience has questions, I think there's a Q&A tab. If you click session on the top right of your screen, but 3 to the left, and click Q&A, you can type a question. If not, I'm definitely going to ask Yussouf and Gabriel to stick around and network. I know that there are some distinguished guests here that would like to meet you guys. What's been the greatest joy for you? What's been the proudest moment? And looking ahead, what would be the proudest achievement that you could have within the next 3 to 6 months for both of you?
You want to go first, Gabriel?
Yeah, sure. For me, it's always when a candidate that's gone through the BAG program comes back to us with feedback. We've had some BAG candidates straight out of university, similar to what Happiness was talking about earlier, like climbing the career ladder and getting back to us and just saying that, hey, the 2 months I was with BAG Innovation made such a huge difference. It made me do this, this, and this. It's really the individuals that get back to us with the feedback that keeps us going and seeing the difference in their careers that we've been able to make. That's definitely been a huge win for us. And the recent win that we had with Africa Union was definitely a peak for BAG Innovation to prove that our idea actually is valid. It did also have some cash money involved as well, which is a great start for 2021 and the COVID year. But I think that's definitely for me, the individuals who come back to us with the feedback is always heartwarming.
Yeah. For me, I would definitely say that the individuals is great as well, but also look at the companies as well. When we have a company that comes back to us and say, "Hey, man, like you guys gave us some of the best talents. Like they've taken our company from point A to point B." It's definitely a great joy, because part of the reason why we started BAG is really looking at the student side, but also the businesses really struggling to find the right talents, right? So when we can help a business really identify the right talent and help them take their business from point A to point B, it's great joy. It keeps us going every day to the office.
Yeah, well, what I really appreciate most is how open you guys are to collaboration. As Gabriel said, we're looking for partners. We're looking to take what we can get. We know that in Israel and anywhere in the world, it's cliche as it sounds, it does take a village. So I just want to conclude, to thank you and to thank Gabriel again for putting a roof over my head. And worst case, you always got the real estate to fall back on. But just for your inspiration, for your persistence, for the genuine impact that you guys are creating, is there any last not last words. Is there any like kind of final message or final thoughts that you want to share with the crowd here before we break and go into network? I know there's some distinguished folks that want to talk to you, so we'll ask you to stick around. But any final thoughts?
I mean, one thing that I would say is, I mean, we're super excited about what we're doing here. We always say in the office that, you know, who's better to solve a young people problem except the young people themselves, right? So it's exciting to be part of a great team that we have this big dream that we want to achieve, and obviously we're working towards hard really to prove that concept, and we've been able to see some of the fruits there. And yeah, I just want to say that to everybody who's listening or watching. If you're interested in what we're doing, if you feel like this is something that is interesting, or you would just like to connect and learn more, please feel free to reach out during in the lounge. I'm gonna stick around for a bit, and you know, I'm definitely welcome to have any questions or just connect with other people and talk about this.
Yussouf, I'm with you. We're all with you. We appreciate you. We're inspired by you. You've added a lot of value just to, you know, to our days, as well as, you know, eventually going to be adding a lot of value to a lot of lives, and also to a lot of pockets as well. That type of growth, that type of market. Yeah. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And we will see you in Israel. You've been a lot of places in the world. You and Gabriel have not yet been to Israel. To take travesty, I will ask the ambassador right now to sort that out. But God willing, we will see you here very soon.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Caleb. It's been a great session. I really liked it. It's great questions. It's been a great evening.
Always a great evening with you, brother. Thank you so much.
All right, man.
Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Bye-bye.